Hi travelers, we're going to do a quick 15 card Sibilla spread. I had not planned on doing a reading, but I was prompted to, and we're going to use the Sibillas this time. And we will clarify, not clarify, but we will sum the reading up with either an angel answer card or a romance angel card. We're just going to get directly into the reading. I am about to start working on the November monthlies on the website. For those of you who are emailing me about Slack, Slack is simply a discussion group, okay? It has nothing to do with getting card readings or anything. It's a discussion group. So this is where you can come and discuss tarot cards, astrology, particularly those of you who are website members and are still maybe struggling with the asteroid astrology that I use. You can come and we can discuss those things. There's also metaphysics. We speak about metaphysics there. So this is really a discussion group where you can either share your experiences, ask your questions, and you get the benefit of other people also being in that group to kind of give you their perspective on things. And it is a free group. So there's nothing that you don't have to be a website member or anything like that. So as I was saying, if you're interested in joining that group, go to the support desk link on the website and send me your email address where you will be contacted. And then I will have to send you an invite. If you send it to me and you don't see the return invite come in, but please check your spam folder first, okay? But typically you should get it within, I'd say 24 hours, you'll get the invite. For those of you who got the newsletter that I sent out yesterday for the event that I'm planning, somebody just emailed me through support desk and they're like, look, I support you, but you know, money is tight. That newsletter that I sent out is designed specifically for you. If money's tight for you, but you've got a question that you want to pose to the cards, all you got to do is make a donation and I'll do a 3-card pull for you. So you have that link that was sent out through the newsletter. And this is this is my way of kind of giving back. You can set the price, you pay what you want, and you only get 1 question and 3 cards though. So if you're interested in joining this, you can do so simply by clicking the link or the more information. I think I attach it to the more, find out more button, but if not, there's a link at the bottom of that newsletter. So this is designed specifically for some of you who are like, look, I need a reading or I want to know something, but I can't afford a $60 reading. Okay, then this is going to be your time to kind of get in on this. And I try to do this once a year. I had to change the format. I was doing it by phone. This time it's only by video. Okay, for those of you who've never had a reading with me, maybe you want to try out and see what a reading is really like with me, you can use that particular link to pay what you want. So with that being said, it has absolutely nothing to do with Slack. So if there's any confusion about that, that's on my part. But the Slack and the pay what you want are not related to each other. They have absolutely nothing to do with each other. So if you're struggling, again, if you're struggling with understanding principles of the astrology, or there's questions that you may have about what tarot cards mean, or how do you read it, or things of that nature, if you're trying to learn to read for yourself, Slack is the place where you want to come. If you have a question and you want to pose it to the cards, you simply make the donation, fill out the form, and then we'll start with the reading. And you do get it in video format, so you'll get to save that particular reading to look at, download it and save it, and look at it as many times as you need. As a matter of fact, I heard from somebody on LinkedIn yesterday that I read for back in 2016. And she goes, oh my God. She says, I'm still looking at the reading you did for me in 2016. And it is so spot on. So this is why I try to explain to you guys, there is no timing in the tarot. I have absolutely no clue sometimes what it is I'm talking about and how long things are going to occur, or how long it's going to take things to develop. That's just the way the cards work. It's quite interesting to me all the time. So with that said, because I'm going to have to shut this down and then go run a quick errand, we're just going to lay the 15 cards and be ready to formulate your question at the end of this reading. Vecchia signora. L'amante, male. Ammalato. The letter. And speranza. This reading will apply whether this is same-sex or heterosexual. Amore. Militare. Gran signore. Wow. Pensiero. Deliranti. Wow. Last row. Limoneo. Huh. Superbia. Wow, okay. Messaggeri. Wow, wow, wow. Donna de servizio. Oh, this is several things happening here. And the vedovo. Well, let's put the cards down. Right in the center of the spread, which is our focus, we have the Gran Signore. Now, the Gran Signore is typically what the interpretation of the Gran Signore is, that he is someone of high status and high position. Typically, he's wealthy or well-to-do, may own property, business, is well known in the community. He is the Gran Signore. He is also considered to be the King of Cups in this particular deck. All right. So we might be dealing with a water sign male. Again, whether same-sex and or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the male. Past, present, future. Past, present, and future with the interplay of the cards. Now, I'm not exactly sure if there are two males here. And one of them may be dealing with an illness, perhaps of an older relative or a mother. I'm reading this across the top here. And there's a bit of worry. The news has come in. There's a bit of worry. Speranza is hope, but also fear. That news has come in. It could also be that this Lamante male himself is not well. And maybe the news has come from an older relative. What I find most peculiar is this idea here of the Vecchia Signora, Amore, Limoneo. Okay, this is the card of nuptials, of marriage, of commitment and contracts. Here with the Amore, this is the Cupid card. Now, for those of you who are on the website, and one of the asteroids that I use is called Cupido. Cupido is the asteroid of sudden passion. But passion doesn't always necessarily have to do with love. A sudden passion can be anger. A sudden passion, it's something that takes you over quite suddenly. Okay? So I'm not exactly sure if this card is saying to me, on the one hand, that this is an older female that is in some kind of relationship, maybe married, or there's a sudden attraction here. One that may have developed into some kind of commitment, say a shacking up, a living together, maybe even a proposal. This is why I say there's several things happening in this particular spread. So that still holds true, the idea that there may be someone who is ill and sick, or maybe, and we've gotten the news on that. But that does not negate this idea of the Vecchia Signora Amore Limoneo, because she speaks to a grandmother or an aunt, but we can say for purposes of the reading, just general purposes, this could be an older woman. Okay. Now, across the center here, Amore Militare Gran Signore Pensiero Deliranti. I don't know, something I think has happened, something quite swiftly, something quite that how does Cupido? Cupido is the idea that of being stricken by this sudden, again, passion is the only word that I can come up with. This could be a passionate attraction for a house or a person, a place. It's like you go to some place and you fall in love with it. You just feel like, oh my God, this is the greatest place ever. So it's kind of, but it's a blind kind of a passion. And it is a kind of passion that does not stick around very long. Why? Because Cupid's arrows never wound very deeply. The other myth of that is Psyche. Where Cupido, yes, now, the mother of Psyche, not the mother of Psyche, Venus, who is the mother of Cupido, was very, very jealous of Psyche's beauty. And so she put her through a bunch of trials and tribulations and tests. Okay. And one of the things, Psyche was kidnapped, and she was taken away, and she was told that the person who captured her, was a monster, when really it was actually Cupid disguising himself. But during the whole time that he was disguising himself, he himself had fallen in love with her. He accidentally shot himself in the leg with the arrow and became passionately in love with her, and eventually had to go to Jupiter, okay, the gods, and ask for permission that he may be able to marry Psyche, and thus she became immortal. All right, it's kind of a roundabout way, but if you come to Slack, we can talk about it. So I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of telling me that maybe, again, this is, even when I say an older woman, this could be the idea that someone's mother or mother-in-law is involved herself in this relationship in a way that she should not have. We see here the militare, the messaggere. Now, the militare is the card of relationship with the law enforcement. And so what does this mean? This means that there's some kind of restraint or constraint or limitation or block, or something being taken away, maybe even through force, or having to be locked away, something kept away from you. But then here's this Gran Signore. Here's the Gran Signore who has come out with the pensiero, someone who's meditating on this. But on the backside of somebody thinking about this, we see the dileranti. The dileranti is the card of stupid actions and stupid behaviors. So this militare, I think, is key here. I think the militare is a key. We see two things happening, coming together. Here we have the hope. Here, let me hope. Let me meditate on this. Let me think. And then how do I send this message out? That's a message from far away. It doesn't tell us far away what far away means. From a distance, you have to remember these are 13th century cards. Here is the Vecchia Signora Militare, and again the Messaggere. So this tells me that this Vecchia Signora person or character has either is deeply involved in this, and has in effect kind of put the kibosh on something, and the news is coming. Okay, if you have not already received it, the news is coming. Here, the bottom row, Limineo Superbia Messaggere, La Donna del Servizio, and the Vedovo. Well, again, this speaks to a marriage and or a commitment, but also the highly spiritual nature of a couple. But then here is the Superbia. The Superbia can speak to the idea of, yes, success, but it can also speak to the idea of someone either showing you their true colors or pride and hubris. So there's something about this connection here, particularly with this Lamante. I don't know if maybe the Lamante has had a brush with the law, the male. Behaved in a manner which was very unbecoming, or born out of pride or hubris or vanity. And again, the Messaggere. In truth, the Ammalato, which I always call the sick person, this card is really called the visitor. So again, there's this message of some kind of visit, or some kind of something that did not go right on this visit. Here we have the Messaggere. Again, the news coming from afar. Definitely it surrounds this Gran Signore. Here we have the l'amante, gran signore, la donna de servizio. This could be a progression of going from the lover to the actual maybe husband or partner or spouse. We see that there's something positive in this. This card is about running errands. This is about doing things, but always meant to help. Okay? But yet we see that the message comes in, and whatever this message is, it implies that something is done or something positive comes out of this. But then we see the vedovo, the man chained to his past. Somebody mourning the loss of either someone or something, trying to put this to rest. And maybe even the hope that it's so screwed up, so jacked up, or the fear that it comes to an end. Okay? This is not the Morte card. It's not the death card. It's not saying that it's completely a done deal, but simply that someone is trying to put something behind them. Vecchia Signora delirante limoneo. Obviously, this person thinks that there's something stupid or something really untoward about this particular commitment here or contract. Again, we have either the hope or the fear of blind feelings, blind emotions, and trying to put those behind or put those things to rest. I'm looking at this militare again like some kind of struggle. We see him either coming home after a long battle or trying to at least get to that fort at the top. Maybe he's trying to storm the castle. I don't know if this is the idea that this is, there's been a physical altercation here where perhaps maybe the law was called. Maybe there was an, I'm not necessarily picking up that there's an argument, but there is something here in which I do feel that either the law was called or there's some kind of legality here. This says respect for law and or relationship with law enforcement. That's the meaning of the card. It has no other meaning. But then when we look at militare, what does the military do? They defend. They go on the offensive. They do black ops. They go to war. They maintain peace. So I guess it would depend really on how you would look at the idea of the law or the legalities being wrapped up into this. And we see that someone's giving this great weight and thought, this pensiero, the card of meditation. And maybe this is like, you know, maybe this whole idea or this whole episode was really born out of just stupidity, drunkenness, that passion. Okay, this could be the idea where maybe there was an argument or an altercation and the passions became so heated that the law enforcement had to be called. And then after all was said and done here, we find that after thinking about it, this really makes no sense. It's just stupidity all the way around. It is this, the letter and the Gran Signore over to the Superbia. The letter can be anything. It can be a bill. It can be a fax, an email, an actual letter, some kind of communication, a text message. But whatever it is, it has an air of haughtiness to it, as if someone is blaming someone else or is not wanting to take responsibility or is showing you really what they really are made of or what they think about or not necessarily that it changes the opinion, your opinion of the person, but simply that you are able to see clearly now exactly where this person stands and where they come from. And it kind of speaks to this idea of selfishness. Somebody's definitely putting something to bed here. Amalato pensiero vedovo. And this could be the idea of taking a break or taking some time out. It's kind of to me like the Six of Swords card. And deciding, okay, that's enough of that. Foolishness. That's what that card comes across as. Even though we see that some message or news that maybe changes the complexion of it really is there to kind of help us. Somebody sends us something or tells us something or shows us something that we, now that we're thinking about it, it really is something positive. But yet we still see the fear and the hope of this being put to rest and put to bed. It does, these four corner cards does speak to the end of some kind of relationship. And maybe for some of you, the idea that it has gone on long enough. Kind of being blindsided by something, that's what I'm getting. And that it creates this whole manner of some kind of confusion. I think what stands out the most for me are the two males. I would dare say there's a lot of people involved in this. As if everybody has played their part in doing the ridiculous. If that makes any sense. And the reason why I say that, it's these three cards that stand out the most to me. The Vecchia Signora, l'Amante, and the Gran Signore. I don't know if this is also some kind of old friend. Someone from the past who is connected with these two l'Amantes, Gran Signores. Maybe this is you between two people, and you've been trying to bridge the gap. But we see that this l'Amante male is just kind of not having it. And he's ready to fight. This says requited love. But look at what he's looking at. This could be one of those weird relationships where the person is like so attached to their mom, and their mom has such a influence over them that there's been a lot of havoc created. But that still, to me, does not explain the relationship between the Gran Signore and the Vecchia Signora. That is not clear to me as to why, if this is two aspects of the same person. I honestly, my guides are telling me that they are two different people. For others of you, this could be two different aspects of the same person. This reads something like a cease and desist kind of a situation. And it definitely speaks to two different ideas about either what has happened or what's going on, or why this situation occurred. And the reason why I say that is these two, this is about love and passion and emotion. This is about the law, legalities, the police, being stopped, or maybe it's even, again, like I said, maybe it's some kind of struggle and trying to reach a safe place, or either storming the bastion to take back what maybe you feel you've lost. She is the key. Fear and hope. There was a movie of, was it Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? I don't know why that just came up. Because I've never seen the movie. I know that I only know the title, but that just leaped out at me when I put the two cards together: fear and loathing. And maybe that's what this is right here. These hope. But speranza can also be fear. That's a negative aspect of it. The militare, both in its negative and, everything has a positive and a negative. Was somebody wrote me and was asking, that said that they didn't believe in black magic or that, and I was like, yes, both. Or did I believe in black magic? And they were saying that they didn't necessarily believe in it. And I was like, well, of course I believe in it. You have to have, for every positive there is a negative. There is an for every action there is an equal reaction, so to speak. That's a chemical physics kind of a principle, and I can't say it exactly the way that it is. There's an equal and opposite reaction, right? And so if you don't have anything negative to compare to the pot, you can't make any comparison, and vice versa. Black and white, light and dark, night and day, rain and sunshine, snow and heat. So it kind of reads like that. There's a whole bunch of oppositions, and it looks like it's something that's trying to work its way through, or you're trying to work your way through, but you're dealing with a lot of oppositions from a lot of different places. That's kind of what I'm getting. I feel that no matter how this may turn out, which side of the coin of this you are on, eventually you're going to be able to put it to rest. This is really what I'm saying. Now, you may be dealing with someone who is hanging on or clinging on to something, who's having an extreme difficulty with letting this thing go. But ultimately, if you give it some thought, and to me, the way the Dilettante is now reading is not necessarily it's about stupid actions or stupid behavior. It is the idea that if you just kind of let the situation play itself out, that eventually it is going to come to, it's going to work itself out. Yeah, this militare is throwing me way off, just where it sits and how it has fallen in the cards. Because sometimes the dilettante is just the opposite of amore. This could be somebody who is, crazy in love with you, drunk with love, drunk with passion. Okay? That causes them to say and do stupid things, or they've lost their senses. They're behaving in a manner in which it is just kind of crazy. Well, let's I'm going to pull two cards. Formulate a question for the romance angels first. Definitely there's some news coming that will perhaps be able to help you make your decision. Okay? And it could be that this speranza dilettante vedovo is the idea that you're not going to, again, that, didn't I do a reading like that yesterday? I don't know if I did, or a couple of days ago, where I said, you're not going to you may not like what you hear, but in the end, it's going to be exactly what you need to hear. Card says separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Wow. Angel answer. Oh. There's something better. Well, whatever this is, it reads like a slow kind of a, after a whole bunch of crazy foolishness. It is this, the Vecchia Signora. These three people, I wish but somebody out there recognizes this. Even though I may not have hit all of the high points exactly, somebody recognizes this. I know you do. Separation. I do feel for some of you this has to do with family members, a mother or a mother-like figure inserting herself into a situation. It says the romance angels are helping you during this period of separation from your partner. This card comes to you as an indication of angelic support as you spend time away from each other. While you're apart, the angels can help you fill your hours with healthy activities, which will help your present or future relationships. This card may indicate a temporary period of aloneness, such as while your partner is traveling for business, or a time in your life when you're single and preparing for your next relationship. It can also mean a marital separation or divorce. Call upon the angels for support and guidance during these transitions. They can help you discover the deep healing to be mined as you spend time alone, which prepares you for the next part of your relationship journey. I think you finally just understand that, or someone you come to, if not necessarily an agreement, an understanding that you're better apart than you are together. And that's simply the way it has to be. Because this can be, to me, about appearances sometimes. And remember I said for some of you, this may be the idea that this is two different aspects of the same person. The person went from being a lover, and then now they're like your spouse or your partner. There's that X. But now you understand exactly who you're dealing with this person. There's something better. It's almost like the scales have fallen from your eyes. Right? Okay. Heaven has something wonderful in mind for you. However, it is not the same thing you have planned. Ask yourself what you would rather have. The very thing you're asking for, or something that would make you much happier and more fulfilled. Sometimes the divine has joys in store for us that we could never imagine on our own. Open your mind and heart to the possibility that you deserve even more than what you are asking for. And trust your angels to guide you in new and exciting directions. All right, look, that's what I have for you. I think this is this Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde aspect with the moon in Taurus kind of aspect. There's so many trines and sextiles happening at the moment. Look what was underneath the deck. So there's a lot of supportive energy here, even if things don't go the way that you think they should, right? So that's what I have for you. Again, if you want to come join me on Slack, you are free to. Look, that's under the deck. That's the yes. Not the final yes, but just the yes. Okay, I hope those messages helped. Until next time. Oh, and by the way, those of you interested in the Pay What You Want, I'm taking bookings early, so you can use that mailer to go ahead and get your things set up. So until next time, namaste.